Hi creatives, Dimma here, and on today's tutorial I've brought to you another gorgeous sleeve similar to the last one we did in the last tutorial, but this time it is structured differently and I am very sure you will be very much interested in this sleeve tutorial. So let's get right into it. Here are the materials I'll be needing, and that is my fabric scissors, the pepper scissors that I have there. I have my lace fabric, I have the peplon stay, and I have mirror face satin, and of course my pattern master. I will also be needing my marker pen, and having done that, you can see the basic sleeve, which is what I'm starting with. If you don't know how to do it, please look at the description box and you'll see the link. Here I have 17.5 inches length of basic sleeve, and I'll be taking a point from the cap like so, and that is 1.5 inches. I just took that point and I made a point again this other way. When I measured this other point, I got 1.5 inches, okay, and I connected these 2 points. This is a sort of leg of mutton sleeve, and yes, if you want to make it fuller towards the elbow, you can draw a line like this, and if you want to make it fuller on the cap, you can draw a line this other way. So that is why I'm making dotted lines this other way, so that just in case you want to make it fuller on the cap, you can as well slash this dotted lines to make your cap fuller. Now, having done that, I'm going to cut out this fabric basic sleeve. Sorry, I'm going to cut it out just as you can see me do, and I will go ahead to do the pattern alteration. Now, this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to slash open this very line. I'm not going to use the dotted lines because I'm okay with this. But if you want to make yours fuller, you can slash open the dotted lines and make the cap of your sleeve fuller. All right. So right now I have slashed it open, and I'll go ahead and fold my lace fabric. So this is my lace fabric here, and I will go ahead and fold it. When I place it on fold, I will just go ahead and place this paper like this, just as you can see me do, and I'm just trying to add up what we make about 22 inches, which is about 4.5 extra, or 5.5, I think. Yeah, I wanted to make it about 23. Yeah, so I will pin it down when I got that to give me the length that I want, because I want the sleeve to be quite long, just as you can see on the picture that I am trying to copy. So right now, this is what I have, and when I measure the spread like this, I spread it to 3 inches. Like this is 3 inches, and from fold here is 2 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. So having done that, I'll pin it down there. So when I pin it down, I am going to make a horizontal line there, and from that line I am going to measure up 3 inches, and this is what I got, and I'm going to smoothen it to the cap of the basic sleeve, just as you can see me do. Then I will go ahead and cut it out like this. I'm cutting with 1/2 inch seam allowance, so that I'll be using that part to stitch when I'll be sewing. So having done that, I'm also cutting out this side of the sleeve, as you can see, with little seam allowance. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to unpin this, because I'll be using it for the next stage, and of course keep the lace that I've cut aside. Now, having done this, I am going to tape this together. I'm going to close up this part with my tape. I'll just bring out a little piece of my tape and then tape it down, so that I can keep altering it for more. Yeah, I had to cut it out like this and tape it down properly. Now, having done this, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark a level on this sleeve. Okay, I'm going to mark 3 inches. You know, I raised the leg of mutton sleeve by 3, and that is why I'm taking 3 inches here. So here I took 1.5 to 2 inches there, and I'm connecting these 2 points like so. This is to make the inner structure of this leg of mutton sleeve, and that is where the difference in this sleeve comes, and also the way I spread the leg of mutton sleeve. Okay, so I cut it out. If you want your own height to be higher, then you raise the leg of mutton sleeve by 4 and maybe make this one 4 as well, but I feel 3 is fine. Okay, so having done that, I'll bring out my doll face satin, because that is what I'll be adding the structure to like before I apply it to the sleeve. See what I'm going to do? This is how I'm going to place the sleeve. And what I measured here is 2.5 here. 2.5 from fold, and that is how I kept that. Please, if you want it to be heightier than this, you can use 3 or 3.5. And that means that on the leg of mutton sleeve, you will also make, the cap to be fuller, so that it will accommodate whatever spread you are making here, because you have to make it rhyme. If not, it's not going to fit on the fullness. I hope you understand what I mean. So having done that, this is how I'm going to connect it. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing this, and this is one of it. Okay, the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing slash and spread method. So this is one way to cut this. I said if you want it to be heightier, I mean the structure to point up more, this fold should be more than 2.5 inches from the fold. Okay, you can make it 3 or 3.5. That way it will really point upwards, but I feel 2.5 is just fine. Now, having done this, I am going to draw a slash line here. I'm showing you the second method of doing this. You just slash it open, and by so doing, you're going to spread your slash line. Okay, so instead of putting the 2.5 inches at the fold as I did earlier, I'm going to put 1 here and put 1.5 here. I hope you understand. That will make 2.5 as well. Now, these are the 2 ways you can do this. 1.5 there, and I pinned it down, and 1 on fold. That's a total of 2.5 as well. So I connect like this, and I will cut it out. Now, these are the 2 ways you can do this. As I said, the 2.5 I used, I feel is fine. If you want it to be pointing up more, please use 3. I think 3 is fine as well, or 3.5. But when you are doing this, ensure that you make your cap fuller. You can see the difference between the 2 is not really obvious. It's the same thing as far as I'm concerned. And then I am using this last one I cut to cut a second piece. But you can use it, any of the methods. They are just fine and perfect ways to do this. Okay. So having done that, I will go ahead and cut the peplum stay. I'll fold it like this and place the mirror face satin that I cut out like so, and I will go ahead and iron it down to add structure to this mirror face. I'll be applying hairstay to the second one. Now this is hairstay that I am applying to the second one. Yeah, so having cut it out like this, I'll go and use my iron and iron each of them down to the various pieces. So when I iron it down, this is what I have. You can see the thicker version, that will be the lining, and you can see the softer one, that is the hairstay. I'll stitch it just as I pointed, and I will also be stitching this part of this other sleeve, that is the leg of mutton sleeve. After doing that, this is what I have. I've closed up here, and then this second one, I'll just notch it round. Very important, because this will make the seam to relax and allow you to fold inside out neatly, and I'll make sure that that point lays flat. I'll go ahead and iron it properly before I start applying it to the sleeve. Now I've ironed it and I've closed up this other end. I will now place it like this. As you can see, I'll ensure that the middle part, I put a notch at the cap there. I'll ensure that the notch on this lace fabric is matching the notch on the mirror face satin fabric. Okay, So you can see what I have there. I'm going to gather it till is the size of the armhole of the cloth you'll be applying it to. Okay, like the armhole of my cloth, of the clothes I may be applying it. Of course, I'm not making it for any dress. It's about 18. Okay, assuming it's 18 that you're working with as the armhole, that means you'll be looking at half of it unfold like this. That is 9. So after gathering to the point that you desire, you are going to ensure that it is remaining 9 inches unfold and 18 inches when opened up. That way it will match the armhole very well. Okay, if your armhole is 19, still follow that method. Half of 19 is 9.5, and of course you do the same. You can see that I stopped the gather at the same point that I started it, towards the back of the sleeve, if you understand what I mean, so that everything will be uniform. Now, having formed this gather, I am going to be placing this on it like this, and I'll be pinning down the middle part. I'm matching the notch that is on their cap, and I'll be pinning it down. Then I'm going to smoothen this gather so well that you will barely notice that there is gather stitch there. That is the ideal thing to do. You smoothen it so well that you will barely notice the gather that is there. So when you are done doing that, I'll stitch it down. Now this is what I have after I've stitched it down. Just do well to remove the gather thread, the thread that you use to form the gather stitch. Remove it, then you can see what we have. This is looking so nice. You will then apply this on the armhole of any dress that you want to put it on. So you can see the height of this is about 2 3/4, actually the final height, and this is what I have. I'll place it on the mannequin so that you will see exactly what it looks like. Here I'm measuring the armhole. You can see we got 9 because that is what I have in mind. It's not as if I'm making it for any dress specifically. And adding it to the mannequin, this is what it gave. You can see how gorgeous it's looking. You can see how lovely it's looking. Try it out and let me know what you got. Do you like this? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys, love you all.